13th floor. The 13th floor.
Welcome everybody to the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I'm your moderator, B. Joes, and I got my good guys on here today. I'm starting with you, J. Dace. What's happening, man? Welcome back.
What's going on, y'all? It's always a pleasure to be back on the 13th floor, man.
It is. We missed you, man. We missed you.
Yeah, man. Where you been at, Dace? What's going on, man?
In the cave, man. School.
You look like a caveman.
You can't be in the cave, J. Dace.
I wish I could grow a beard that glorious.
You can't be in the cave. Of
Hey,
all
J.
places,
Dace, you
don't
don't
go
lie
to the
to
cave.
us, man. We know what it is.
What's that?
It's still wintertime up there, and you got a warm body to lay to
It's still
early on
cuddle.
Sunday
It's
mornings.
still cuddle season up north,
It's
son.
hard to get
Yes,
out that
sir.
bed early Sunday morning. Yeah. We
Got
know.
that in home.
Mike D, what's going on, baby?
It's 8. It's early.
You can still hear it in his voice. You say you got that Barry
Please
White.
turn down your
Real
cell
strong.
I'm
Down
trying to
yourself.
get it higher. My vocals ain't working right now.
Our main man in crypto, resident DJ Barry B. Fresh. What's going on?
What's happening, people? Excited this morning. Why? I'm not really sure, but I am. So enjoy it. Let's get it.
And of course, we got my man Asher. What's up, baby?
Oh no!
No sad faces today. You made the intro.
Go Asher. It's go Asher.
Fucking people.
Say what's
No.
up.
Where you going?
Nothing.
You out?
And
Look at this
slowly slipping away.
Coach K, what's happening this morning, man? How you doing?
Man, what's happening? You see what it is. You know, daddy duty.
Daddy duty already, man. Love it. Fellas, it's good to be back, man. I miss you guys.
Definitely, man.
Agreed.
It's been an interesting week, man. I want to start off first, man. If you haven't already, go check the blooper reel. We got our most latest blooper reel up on Facebook and on YouTube. Fresh did an amazing job. The lemonades was probably my favorite part. Mike D pointed it out.
Man, that was
Great cookie. Shout out to the Girl Scouts. We do a sponsorship for that as well. So if y'all want to hook us up with some cookies or anything, especially the lemonade joints, please do. Thank you very much.
and apparently the Caramel Delights is only an East Coast thing because in the Midwest they still call Samoas.
Really?
Wow, interesting.
Yep. Same box, same everything,
They
just
trying to say
completely different name.
late on
It's a
stuff.
different manufacturer.
That I'm not sure. I got scolded because I went back to Ohio and was talking about that whole thing, and the girl was like, "What are Caramel Delights?"
What do
It's
you
like the same thing as Samoas. And she a big Girl Scout chick. Like she almost beat me up because I was disrespecting the name of the cookies.
Yeah, it's a different manufacturer. So depending on which coast you are, you get your cookies from somebody different.
But why can't they don't have the same name?
Yeah, but it's under the same company. So Girl Scout cookies should be like, hey.
Y'all
But
assume it's under the
Because
same
Girl
company.
Scouts is such a business now. It ain't really the same
Yeah.
Girl Scouts that it was
Girl
back.
Scouts is start.
Can you buy
How you know?
stockings?
You was a Girl Scout, Jay? How you know?
Well, I got nieces.
Oh, okay. What are they doing in Girl Scouts? Nia's been trying to get us in the Girl
Don't do
Scout. No?
Sorry, Girl Scouts.
Why not?
What's wrong with the Girl Scouts?
It's like a step towards entrepreneurship. Get them in that entrepreneurial mind.
Kinda. It's more. You have to participate as a parent.
That makes sense.
Not so much like the girls do a lot, but like you gotta sell them cookies.
Also, it's you doing the work.
Well, you have to have them there, but still, they are responsible as your child. They are responsible for whatever set amount, and they're going to put the people don't realize how much of a business it has turned into, where they understand the power of those cookies and the benefit of what it does in order to impact a lot of little girls' lives across the country. It's very good, but they definitely have understood the power of those cookies and will make sure that, hey, you have a quota to meet and there ain't no playing about it. You need to get in front of that Publix, that supermarket, wherever.
Yep.
I think some of the most genius cookie sellers I've seen have been posting up in front of different marijuana distribution centers. The entrepreneurship, outstanding. I'm talking about selling off. No issues in front of the dispensaries, period.
Have you actually seen the Girl Scouts set up outside the dispensaries?
Me personally, no, but I've definitely seen the news reports and some controversy over it where I'm more along the lines of
I see. I mean,
Hey,
I think that's
man.
good business. That's
yeah,
the
but
way
it's different doing that and setting up in front of like a Walmart. It's the same thing.
it's
You
the
just,
same
it's
thing.
even
And I
better.
went inside and in a lot of those, I don't know how many have been to real dispensaries, especially like in Colorado,
Yeah.
where when you go in, these people are letting you sample right there. They have all different types of things. So there's a great chance that people are
you come out.
out,
I know you hungry. I
medicated.
know you hungry.
Okay.
I think it's just supply and demand in my eyes. I actually am upset. My daughter is not more enthusiastic about being a Girl Scout and that we don't live in a state with more heavily available dispensaries because I too will be seeking that entrepreneurial path.
We just gonna let Jay pass on the dispensary like Walmart.
Hey,
Same concept. You know what I mean? Same concept.
that was
Big
the
box store.
Hey, can I ask y'all a
Supply and
question though? Why don't the Boy Scouts have a product?
They do
We talked
popcorn.
about that last time. That
What do they
I was
have?
gonna say
Popcorn. It's from the American Popcorn Factory. Shout out to Jolly Time. Shout out Jolly Time.
I didn't know. I don't know nothing about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm about to say, well, they definitely are not as aggressive because I actually had zero clue at all. If I was them Boy Scouts, if I was y'all and y'all want to sell popcorn, I would have made a move on Cracker Jacks a long time ago. Took over that game. Boom. Now you switch it up. You selling Cracker Jacks outside of wherever the movie theater. I don't know. Do something crazy. But I'm just saying, y'all need to step your game up on whatever you were selling.
And people ain't too big
Right
on
now, we don't
popcorn.
know.
You know
They
what I mean?
popcorn.
Everybody
good,
love
though.
cookies.
It's
but
like different flavor popcorn, the caramel, the cheese popcorn.
Oh, like the tub?
Mm-hmm.
But where do they sell this at?
Same way Girl Scouts do.
only
They
thing?
don't. Nah, they don't do the storefronts. They just straight hustle.
You gotta. It's internet only, and only if you know, you know.
Or
You gotta know a Boy Scout in order to get you some popcorn. It just
Man.
ain't readily available. I want to say theirs is during the summer too. Like it should be coming up.
That's
Either summer or
already-
in the fall. Maybe like August, September they sell theirs.
You got to do it. Popcorn go good in like fall, winter time.
Popcorn is good anytime. If you
Yeah,
want
I'm
some
about to say-
great popcorn, go to Amazon, get you some of that Popcornopolis. That junk in the red bag. It comes in the cone. Amazing. Y'all saw
Jolly
it.
Time. Shout out to Jolly Time.
Man, we just discredited the Boy Scout stuff.
Hey, well, I haven't seen. First off, I haven't seen this, so until I see it, I'm still not sure that that's fact.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
gonna
come in.
believe it. The
They come
summertime
a
and
little.
fall, I will be looking out. But furthermore, the best multi-flavored popcorn I've ever had comes from Chicago Giordano's or whatever. Popcorn is amazing. Amazing. They sell it at Costco now too, where they sell a bag where it's mixed. The caramel and the cheddar are mixed together.
I heard about that.
Coda Kernels. Shout out to Coda Kernels.
Hey,
Related to Jolly Time.
have you guys on the popcorn tip? Have you guys ever had half pops?
What's that?
They are popcorn that's half pop, so it's like crunchy and it's not. It's like in between being a full popcorn and a hard corn. It's crazy, but it's like almost like a corn nut.
Yeah, I love those at the end of the bag.
Yo, there's a company that sells them now. Delicious, fantastic, man. You got to look at the same thing on Amazon. I think they're called like Pop Snaps or something like that, but pretty much popcorn that is half pop, or they're called half pops. That's what they're called, but they are delicious. Different flavors. They even got a dill pickle version. All of them phenomenal. Shout out to half pops. Send us some.
You can tell we hungry in the morning. We just spent about 15 minutes talking about snacks.
But did you
Nobody
know
had
that?
breakfast.
So when we went to Sioux City, we got the popcorn is actually a separate type of corn kernel. So it ain't your regular corn that you eat. It's like feed corn for animals. Then there's popcorn, and then it's the corn that we eat on the cob. Rather interesting tour. And again, shout out Jolly Time.
Right. So going into discrediting people, as Jay like to say, I guess we got to do some discrediting to Starbucks. Fresh put me on to this situation of them calling cops on two men who do what people typically do, two black men, for doing what people typically do in a Starbucks, going in, sitting down, and having a meeting. Fresh, you want to give us an update on that thing?
wasn't even having a meeting, excuse me, from what I've read and seen. It was more a situation where they simply were using Starbucks, as many entrepreneurs do, as a starting point for their day. They were two realtors, I believe. They met at the Starbucks, were waiting for somebody else, one of their friends, to come and meet them at the Starbucks. But then all of a sudden, I'm not sure if it was a manager or just an employee at that Starbucks in Philadelphia, but pretty much the police were called. In comes the police, and for at the end of the day, no reason, they went ahead and actually arrested these two gentlemen who were just sitting in Starbucks. Note, they did not purchase any coffee. They were just, sitting in the lounge of Starbucks. However, many people do that. Myself as an entrepreneur, I've used many Starbucks in many locations as a point of reference and starting place for my day, whether it's to have a meeting or to meet there in order to begin and go do something else throughout the day. So it really is racially biased that they would decide that they're going to call the police on these two gentlemen just because they were sitting in there. But then it's really crazy that not only were the police called, but the fact that they arrested these two gentlemen. Even in the videos that you see, they are not hostile or, acting irate or even, doing anything crazy towards the cops. It really looks like they just came in there, pretty much said, hey, you two are not supposed to be in here because you haven't purchased anything. We're going to arrest you, and made it that simple.
What was the grounds for arrest? Like disturbing the peace?
Probably trespassing. They probably use trespassing simply because they're on that property and haven't made a purchase. And so that's their way of being able to say that, hey, you're trespassing because you're not. They do that in restaurants all the time. That's one of the easiest outs that they use to be able to say, hey, well, that's why I don't let that's why we kick that homeless guy out. He's trespassing. He hasn't purchased anything here. Like that's your key to being able to use our property is through purchasing something. You have that validates your ability to be here on this property. So It's an easy way for them to go ahead and say, hey, this is what you're doing. But what makes it crazy is the fact that they were not in there acting crazy. They were not, in the corner playing loud music and, talking loud crazy. From what it looks like in the video, they were simply, sitting in the corner waiting. They were two black dudes. They were one was in some, I don't want to say gym clothes, but he had on like some sweatpants, whatever. It doesn't matter. They weren't dressed like they were about to come rob the place. They were still, it wasn't like they were in black masks.
I wonder if they were awarded the opportunity, like, hey,
right.
That's another thing is
if you don't buy anything, you got to go.
There was nothing that I read or saw that showed any indication that somebody came to them in the sense of, hey, can I help you? And that came to say something like that. Can I help you? Do you guys want some coffee? Anything like that? However, again, I've sat in Starbucks, many different Starbucks, where I've sat there for an hour, not ordering coffee, not worrying about anything. And nobody's ever come to ask me or worried about me being there. Right. So it's really more of the weird ambiance around, hey, what is the issue with these two gentlemen just sitting in the store like so many other people do across these stores across America? What is the real issue? What's going on? And how was it okay for not just the fact that the police were called, but more importantly, what was going through those officers' minds that they just walked in, y'all getting arrested and thought that was okay. Like, regardless, you walk in to a peaceful situation. Again, these guys did not look irate, not even while they were being handcuffed and taken away. They just were, okay, this is what's going on. I mean, to me, I think it's definitely more on the idea that I'm about to sue Starbucks, this police court, like I'm about to get paid.
They're about to get paid. It's unfortunate. I got a couple questions. One, was the owner in the establishment at the time?
I don't believe so.
So it was management on the site. And this management, is this Starbucks in Philadelphia, correct?
Let me get the exact place.
Yeah, go ahead, be our fact checker, because to me, not only does it sound like an issue, well, obviously there's still an issue with the way police are trained to handle situations, but most times, and I even had an encounter with the police when I was in Tampa a couple weeks ago with my son for his birthday. I went to hang out with the bros, and we were at one of the bruh's house in the neighborhood, and of course you got to park along the streets or whatever, and sometimes adjacent to other people's property. And the police had come out there, and he was a white police officer who was very respectful. We weren't loud. It wasn't loud music. You couldn't hear anything outside of the house. We were just parked along the street. But he was very respectful. He talked to us about the neighbors' concerns, but even he was very dismissive of the neighbors' concerns because we weren't intruding upon anybody else's space. We weren't being loud, belligerent, or any of those things. And he basically de-escalated the situation. We moved our cars into not an adjacent, but a nearby park, and then we're able to, taxi each other back. But the way that police officer handled that situation, being respectful, calm, not turning some little situation into this big thing where I'm just going to arrest all of these college educated black men.
I say it all the time, and not just in relationship to how they deal with minorities, but just in general. People talk about how hard law enforcement is and how hard that job is to do. And 1,000%, I salute and hats off to those who make that choice and are, decide to dedicate themselves to that field. However, you made that choice and decided to dedicate yourself to that field, and you should be the one trained in order to alleviate situations, not to to gas them up and to make them so much worse. In this same situation, these two gentlemen were sitting in the store. Police are called. 6 cops show up. If you're sitting somewhere just hanging out, waiting, doing your regular day, haven't done any criminal activity, like you're just doing what you do, enjoying a Starbucks, about to, waiting for a meeting, and all of a sudden 6 cops walk up on you and your friend, you're going to be, I'm sure they were sitting there. They walk, all of a sudden they see, damn, look at all these cops. What's going on? I wonder what's going on. Like 6 cops is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? Wait, they coming this, what? Oh, get out of here. You're joking, right? Really?
Exactly.
So it said the 6 cops came and just walked in and said, you guys have to leave. So
know what happened here? What's the situation?
Exactly. You guys have to leave. And you're going to be so pumped. Like, what do you mean I have to leave? What are you talking about? Why do I have to leave? And so literally you can I'll put up a link to the video, but in the video you see aggressively 6 cops that are, standing over 2 gentlemen waiting for their friend in the Starbucks, tell them aggressively they have to leave. When they ask, what do you mean we have to leave? What's going on? That's when it was just pretty much like, either you leave or we're going to arrest you. And obviously it's like, they were still confused. Like, what do you mean? And instead of de-escalating the issue or asking, why are 6 cops needed for 2 guys sitting in a What do you think that you, right. I'm going to tell you the real story here. How much money are these Starbucks making? Because what are you so scared of that these guys are going to take that you're like, you know what? I want 1 step down from SWAT. Give me 1 step down from SWAT in order to. I got 2 black guys. I don't know. They didn't order any coffee. I think they're here for the gold bars we're hiding in the back. They gotta be going down the Bitcoin machine. They are here for the Bitcoin machine. It's going down. That's the real story we need to be worried about, America. What is going down in these Starbucks? Because there's something else to call that many people for 2 black men sitting in the store. There's something else going on in Starbucks. You better believe that.
Hey, you know how they bring that medicine out of Mexico? They put it in with the coffee.
Hey,
can't smell it. Just saying.
I ain't saying, but I'm saying, and they get their beans from all over the world. So it's something bigger. It's something bigger than telling you. They got diamonds. They got diamonds in their coffee.
They got more than diamonds. They got that Yeezy.
Hey man, I want to talk about the greatest marketing ploy ever. Also in Drake's new release of that "Nice for What" video.
Boys Got Popcorn.
Great music,
great video, great message. How on time is this guy right now, man? It's crazy.
Hey, one thing I tell you guys all the time about Drake, and especially he learned it from Kanye, but and I believe Kanye learned it from Michael Jackson, where
That's a
most
big gap.
strategic thing that you can do is become a vampire. So you find out what's cool, what's going on. Let me go attack and find out the person who's doing that to death. The best thing, I'm gonna go right to their doorstep. Yo, let's hang out, let's party, let's do this, so I can learn directly from the source of what's cool, fly, fresh, whatever it is, the new wave, whatever. And I always respect Drake, Kanye. My reference is always Kanye with auto tune and T-Pain.
Mm-hmm.
T-Pain was the king of auto tune. Kanye was like, wow, this is hitting. I see this can be the new wave. I can finally really feel that I can sing. Instead of me trying to figure it out myself, what'd he do? Welcome to the good life. All of a sudden, let T-Pain come in. Open up the door. I'm going to lay out the rate. You don't have to pay for nothing. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a Lambo, whatever. Because he knew this is about to change. Once I learn this, I'm gonna totally take it to another path. And Drake does the same thing, where he finds those moments, he understands, he takes from people. That's that New Orleans bounce music. So already that's the DJ that he has talking on the intro of the song, and then when it starts to break down, that I'm not sure if he produced the beat, but that's that New Orleans bounce sound. And so then right now, the impact of the Me Too and women's empowerment, the growth of it, really the point it's at now, it was just the perfect moment. He dropped this record, and not only is it a dope song, but the message in it also is poignant and on time.
So I got a question, Fresh. You probably be the best one to answer. But J Dace, Mike, we're gonna educate you.
Mike looking like this Drake song. What is this?
I'm about to wake Des up.
we might get 20 seconds at the end of the show for you. Fresh, you remember Black is Gold, Wale dropped last year?
Yes.
So it was crazy for me because I felt like that song flew way under the radar when it dropped, because it's basically the same thing as Drake just did. It's just the timing. He was just a year earlier, and he's not gonna get that acclaim that Drake is seeing now. Plus, Drake is just a bigger entertainer.
I was gonna say, do you think that got to do more so with the name difference as well?
It's not just the well, it's 100% the name difference. Excuse me, but also it's the fact that unfortunately Wale is like the dirty stepchild of hip hop industry. He's the guy, but it's because he's I don't want to say he has the he has the arrogance of Kanye without the full roundedness. He is because Wale is a phenomenal MC, but I think what allows Kanye to be arrogant is while Kanye is a great MC, he still is a phenomenal genius producer.
You mean Saha?
So much other stuff. And so it allowed his arrogance to push through because he kept being able to do so many other things that still made him be like, oh my God, like, yo, but he's still Kanye. Where Wale, he's an amazing MC, but he's an amazing MC. And just like J. Cole said, he's and not even, I don't even want to say he's arrogant though. That's the thing.
Emotional.
He's bitter. He's bitter.
He's emotional.
Yeah, he's emotional and he's bitter about the fact that he does. And he's like, what do you, I'm nice. How am I not on? But it's, it's just like there's people that you remember in school who were like that, who wish they were more popular than but man, I'm nicer than him. I'm not. But sometimes in life, it just is, if you settle more with the comfort of yourself, you will grow, you will surpass what you wanted to be or expected to be. Whereas a lot of people get so caught up in wanting so bad to be, are so jealous of the fact that they are not where somebody else is, instead of allowing their comfort in their own self push them past where they, ever thought they could progress to.
Right.
So I think that's what
sound like the mad rapper.
You're right.
That's more John Blaze in that.
Yo,
that's John Blaze.
Yeah, I mean, Wale he's a nice MC, man. I think because he doesn't find a lot of value. Not that he didn't find a lot of value, but his fan base is just so strong. Like, I've been a Wale fan since the mixtape About Nothing, all of that stuff. So, and he has a certain sound and a certain energy, and his lyricism is on the same level with some of the Lil Waynes of the world. He's very witty when he gets in his box or whatever.
Wale is dope. Super
Very dope.
And he don't even have fans. Wale has stands. Like he has them like super fans. Yeah, who like those who ride with Wale, they ride with Wale and validly so. It's just that Wale has that stigmatism on him. Like I think that J. Cole did a phenomenal job on that record when he speaks about the fact that Wale is hey, you have all of these fans, you have all of this, but yet you still wind up bitter and emotional about things that you can't control. Instead, if you would focus on being more happy and just in enjoying and developing what you have and being more settled in self, you would totally destroy it and go past. None of this would matter. You would be more excited about the things. I saw the piece on oh my God, what's the Revolt, where he went back to Africa and met like his family, like really the tribe he came from, and all of these people don't understand that he is literally like a son of like African royalty type stuff. So he went back and met family that he hadn't seen since he was like a baby or ever. And so these things are awesome. And without rap, without hip hop, he wouldn't have been able to do that the same way. And it's being able to, understand and value how important that is, to be able to do something that you love and know that you can not only feed your family and be straight, but be able to do things that would never be possible doing something that you love. Like how many people wish that they loved their job and it was something that came natural to them and it wasn't a struggle and it wasn't like, like that's the stuff that you have to hold on to. Imagine that. Imagine being able to get paid to do something that you're just naturally talented. Like at the end of the day, it comes so second nature to you. And that's not like, you're not just getting paid. You're not just able to survive, but you're doing things going all over the world. That's amazing.
We're not just talking about rap no more, ladies and gentlemen. This is life. You know what I mean? That's we can close it out right there.
But I ain't done yet. While we still on the music, Fresh, I want to get your take on this. On the heels of Nice for What, you got this whole Cardi B and Nicki Minaj go forth situation. I wish Art was on to talk about his girl, because he's like the biggest Cardi B fan, man. I don't understand why, but I get it.
That's the red bottom girl, the blood shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's her. So what do you think about that? On the heels of Nice for What, you got an opportunity for Nicki to be the biggest, their big homie, and congratulate Cardi and success with this album. But they still have this, tit for tat beef going on.
Look, I think it's one of the worst things about hip hop to me is the Highlander Effect is what I call it. There could only be one on top. I don't know if you guys, J Dace, I'm sure you don't know what Highlander is. Mike, I know you know what Highlander is, the movie back in the day. They pretty much, these dudes, like they fought. My dad used to love it. I'd actually never watched one of these joints, but I remember the basis was that could only be one Highlander, and these guys would like warp through time in different situations, and they were always killing each other to chop off. And like when you killed one, you got their power. And it's the same thing I kind of correlate in hip hop, where they have the, you gotta be the top MC and, battle rapping and all this. I love battle rapping, but especially in female MCs, there are not a lot of them who get the recognition that they should. And so to always feel this need of, well, I have to prove that I am the top, instead of, I just need to bring as many of them inside and let's just make great music and make great music about life and success and these types of things, that I wish it was more on that standard. Because to me, I love them both. I respect Cardi B because I watched Cardi B when she was on Love and Hip Hop. And even the thing about Cardi B is, even when she was just on Love and Hip Hop and was just, she was a stripper on, coming off being a stripper and wanted to do music on the show when she was first coming on. But I will not lie, instantly, the first time you see her and were was watching her on screen. She's captivating, and not like captivating like, oh, she's so beautiful and like whatever. She's just like she's a character. Like she's awesome. She's cool. She's the homegirl that you want to kick it with, that you want to hang out with. Like she's really down to earth. She says funny stuff. She's one of the only girls I've ever heard talk about farting and like whatever, you know what I mean? But it's the comfort that she has in her own skin is what has increased her popularity. It's funny how that can come back from my Wale segment to over here, where her comfort is what is pushing her and making her excel at such a rapid pace. She's a rocket right now. And she's backing up what she has put out to the forefront, but still is comfortable enough to, yes, I used to be a stripper, but I'm not anymore. I had to do that in order to get to where I am, but now I know where I am. I saw that she was uncomfortable wearing I don't need to wear, crazy, sexy clothes anymore. I'm pregnant. I'm about to have my first child. I don't need to dress like that. And not that I'm saying, I don't think that not saying there's something wrong with dressing like that, but right now I'm about to be a mom and I've already done that. I want to be able to show people another way. Like I want to be able to show people that there is two sides and that it isn't like you have to be one way for life. And so hearing her say things like that, seeing her journey makes her awesome. Nicki Minaj, she's already validated, already has shown, what she's able to do. So I don't think there's a real need to have that battle. I think that both the songs that Nicki just dropped are dope, but I also think the Cardi B album is dope. I was I will not lie, extremely surprised by how good Cardi B's album was. And Oprah posted on Instagram, I'm listening to Cardi B's album. When you got stuff like that going on and you used to be I'm a dancer, a stripper, whatever you want to call her, but the fact that she has grown, and this is like a 5-year period, I want to say. It's not some, long, crazy time where I remember seeing her on Love and Hip Hop to now she is, Grammy. I don't believe she won a Grammy. Did she win a Grammy for new artist? I don't know. But anyway, I know she's won some awards, may not be Grammys either way. I'm sure she's on that path, but also that she's, just her success is not what I expected. She still stays in her lane, but yet like even her new single, You Better Be Careful, is I see it's going to be a woman's anthem because it's a song that's talking about, hey, I understand that, you want to do what you want to do, dude, and you want to be out in the streets, but y'all, I'm going to tell you, be careful. Don't go out there and get what you want because you're going to get what you want. And it's just a nice little jam that I could see a whole bunch of chicks just like Bloody Shoes. They're going to be singing it, screaming it, and loving it. That it is what it is. But I cannot be mad. I'm actually, like I said, I've been thoroughly impressed with her journey. And I actually think it's a extremely motivating story, especially for a lot of females who have grown up in, lower class environments where they can see somebody who hustled and made it out of. I'm telling you, you watch some of them old Love and Hip Hops, you just see how she is then. She's the same way now, but also you can see like she had that hunger. DJ Self, I know he's kicking himself. DJ Self is kicking himself in the face daily because she was trying so hard. He was supposed to be the one to put her on, and he pretty much just told her, whatever. And on the show, like you watched all of this unfold, and then all of a sudden she flipped, did some other stuff, started working with some other people, and then just the growth started. It's dope, man. And I think that's a huge piece of it is how many people got to witness and feel that story. Like everybody, a lot of Cardi B stands, and she has stands as well, are from that period of watching her, and you feel like that's your homegirl because she doesn't have that. She has that realism. Like she feels, like I said, when you watch a lot of these, I don't want to say interviews, watching the show because you feel that you get a little bit, while all of those shows are still staged, you feel that you get a little bit more of a realistic view into, how people kind of act because there's so much going on. And you could see that she's, you know what I mean? She was trying to fight chicks on it. Don't get it twisted. Was always down to fight, but she had some of the craziest one-liners that would just resonate with you, that were just, free flowing, that you could tell she was just talking, and it just were one-liners that you were just like, oh my God, this chick's off the chain. She was talking about her man or no, it was some chick from high school who she had beef with, and then she was like, if she beefs with me, we beef forever. And just the way that she said it, it was just like one of those moments that everybody remembers. And she actually turned that into a song. And it was just, you know what I mean? So I respect, like I said, I respect the journey. I think many fans do. At the end of the day, the initial question was whether I think the beef should be going on right now, especially on the heels of such a magic moment. Absolutely not. I do not think hip hop beef. And I understand its place. However, it's just like I guess a good reference also would be the Black Panther album, right? It's like right now we have so much opportunity to really, while we've excelled hip hop, well, I won't say, yes, we have excelled hip hop, but I feel like hip hop has been excelled, and we have an opportunity to excel it to a stratosphere, and really make it be, and it's past rock and roll to me. You think about in the 80s, like when hip hop and rap was first being created, rock and roll was the lick. And dudes running around in pantyhose, long hair, and laughing at hip hop dudes like, man, this is never going to go nowhere. It will never be anything. And for now, when's the last time you heard somebody talk about rock and roll versus hip hop is really hip hop, because it's such popular music now. And so it's crazy to see that progression, but I think it's also the opportunity of, again, like I said, I don't think that in our lifetime we're going to see, like, all of a sudden Black people dominate the world as far as the superior race. And that's not what I want, but I think we are approaching the leveling of understanding that we are all equal and everybody should be viewed on an equal playing field. And that's more along the lines of what I hope for and look to see, especially in my lifetime.
Yeah, I thought the Cardi B thing is, I mean, she's an amazing success story, and I think that's why everybody wants to see her win, from where she came from to where she is now as an entertainer, because, that's basically what she is. The album, I agree with you. I thought it was good. I gave it about an 8.5. There's a couple of songs on there that's just not for me. It's for the females, for the women.
Yep.
But again, she also, she did something with this album. I thought there was a few missed opportunities, but she reverted to what I call the Rick Ross effect, where she has so many features that it covers up her true ability or natural ability. And in those features, those songs become the feature artist song. So like the song with Chance, it's like she catered to Chance, and then, like, I guess didn't really deliver. The song with SZA, the same thing. And then I feel like she really missed the opportunity with I Like It. I felt like that was the jammingest song on the track, but she didn't flow in Spanish. Like, what happened with that? So,
Well, what?
Exactly,
Who speaks
Mike.
Spanish? Cardi B speaks Spanish?
Cardi B is Spanish, yes, Mike.
I can pass it in the grocery store and wouldn't even know.
I believe that there, man. Great job, Cardi B. You and Nicki need to make nice. Jay Dace, man, I'm gonna cover your way a little bit. So I looked into your we mentioned Colin Coleon Noir on the podcast a few weeks ago. And then in that time, he did an interview with Killer Mike. And it was initially it was a very controversial interview about gun control and, how we as Black Americans are essentially trying to give away our rights when it comes, or our right to bear arms in that Second Amendment, because they talked a lot about the banning of guns. They did a lot of educating, I think, within their conversation. And Coleon definitely painted some pictures, as well as Killer Mike, for me, because initially, we had questions, because it's not every day that you see a Black representative for the NRA, and a boisterous one. But the way that he spoke of it and some of the things that they said, even though I didn't agree with everything, especially when Killer Mike said that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is the best thing going today, I don't see how that is. And we could probably get into that in a second, because there's so many shortcomings from the Bill of Rights and the Constitution that directly impact and affect us. But when they talked about how we should get a better understanding of guns, when they talked about joining the NRA or NAGA, I thought those were great points. and the ally situation when, you know, we continuously fight for the rights of others, but those others aren't necessarily continuing to fight for us.
Right.
So yeah, Jay, you want to expound upon that a little bit?
Yeah, man. I thought that. I mean, well, going real quick back to what you said the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. How he said that it's the best thing going for us. I don't. I agree with you because, like you said, there's a lot of shortcomings and there's a lot of things it may need a revision. You know what I mean? But in the sense of a foundation, if we like really, I guess, try to live by, you know what I mean, the moral standing on it, then it may be a lot better. But as far as like getting a better understanding of the NRA, I don't believe in guns. You know what I mean? I just think that I don't own one. I don't want to own one because I don't want to have to use it. You know what I mean? I don't want to carry that with me. But I think that if you, instead of trying to just disbar something, try to better understand it, maybe better educate, as opposed to, you know what I mean, just like saying like, nah, that's not the way to go. Because if we do it that way, then everybody can know like what we need to know about it, as opposed to just walking blindly.
Yeah, I'm one of the odd people who I actually have a permit. I have a concealed carry permit. However, I'm not a gun owner, and I'm really not a gun guy at all. I understand enthusiasts, passion for them. However, I always am weary when it's such, they want to take away these super high powered, crazy, human killing weapons and not allow them to just be purchased anywhere. So that means that they're going to take away all guns and it's like, no, we just want to try to, if possible, start the process of potentially eliminating, something like an, bullied 17-year-old child getting hold of one and being able to, take out a whole school when they don't know. It's no different to me than we need to look at the penal system as far as allowing a child who made a mistake. Another news piece I saw this week, this child who him and his homeboys went and they robbed a house when they were like 15, 16 years old. They robbed the house. In the process of robbing the house, the owner calls the cops. The cops come in. They kill one of the teens. The other two teens, his friends who were there, they get arrested. They go to jail. The teens now, because the police murdered their friend, killed their friend at this robbery. Because of that, they are now charged with murder, and they're going to jail for 65 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a, potentially no, this order, this law has been, this has been, they've already received this.
Yeah, ruled on it.
Yeah, it's already happening. That it's the same thing where you can't allow, everybody can look back at themselves as a teenager and think of the stupid stuff that they did. And can you imagine how horrifying it would be to be penalized for a lifetime for the decisions you made when your mind was not fully developed to make those decisions? And so, pushing
that's
back.
why I think education is key, man, because that's what Killer Mike and Coleon was trying to do with the whole concept. For example, you spoke about bullying, Fresh. He said Killer Mike said he wouldn't do an anti-bullying piece. He just wouldn't do it because he believes that some kids, like I think to quote him, some kids need to get punched in their mouth. Like, you know what I mean? Some kids just need to be.
You got to say the whole thing. So he said some kids need to be punched in the mouth so they can learn to punch back.
Right. No. And it's like you have to be able to do that because you got to go through stuff. That's life. You know what I mean? You're going to go through adversity, and the sooner you experience it, the sooner you be able to better deal with it. So yeah, that's when I think education comes key because there are people out there who just love to have guns like that. They don't mean any harm. They're not trying to. They don't want to kill people. That's not their desire.
Yep.
It's like the whole concept of guns don't kill people. People kill people. So it's not. There's not bad people out there with guns, or there's not good people out there that, that have guns in the sense of they're trying to hurt people. It's just, I think education is key and knowing what you're fighting against as opposed to being so caught up in the movement of people were shot and killed and now we have to ban guns. Like, no, maybe we just need stricter laws and further education.
And I think that's what I'm always weary of organizations when, yes, they want to ban types of guns, but that's also, creating stricter laws on it, and so the games that they play, just like him saying, and I unfortunately was not able to watch the whole piece, but even him saying things like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are the best thing we have going. We as people have become too loose with interpretations that allow for too many, innuendos and, oh, well, I felt this way. That Bill of Rights, Constitution, they need to be revisited because the period, just like with the gun laws that they were speaking of, those right to bear arms or right to bear a gun that I could run in the room, I'd shoot one pellet, but then it's going to take me 5 minutes to go ahead and try to reload this thing and get it back ready so that if it was a real situation, someone can stop that person and be able to, like, they weren't for these automatic assault rifles that could take out a whole,
Right.
100 people in 5 minutes.
There's just no need for that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not about to go to war.
There's just no need for easy act. There's a place, and even if you want to, me personally, I don't see the reason that it shouldn't be more of like, hey, if you like that, that's your lifestyle, then yeah, you do that at the place where that's like, even if you own it, but it has to stay at, the gun warehouse or whatever it is that is more of that type of situation. Because me, I just personally, I don't, while I understand, hey, you like what you like, I like video games. My wife looks at me all the time like, why are you playing? What is that, basketball? Why are you playing? I thought that was a real game on. You're playing it? What are you doing? I like video games. It is what it is. But I don't see or feel the passion of, I need 19 different weapons and, ready for World War.
That point,
by the way, World War III does seem like it might be around.
It's absolutely coming.
I still don't see the need for like all of this ammunition. I am more of a peace and love type person.
How many video games do you have though?
Right now I only have maybe 6, 7.
When you were in college, you probably played more video games then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you acquire more games? Probably maybe like 20.
Yeah, definitely.
So to your point, I think that's where we got to understand the difference in opinion. So me, I'm not into guns either, but eventually I will be, especially after listening to this. I've been searching for a black card carrying NRA member, and I have not found any in person. But after hearing Killer Mike and Colin talk about it, hearing that David Banner recently got his, I'm actually interested in going into this space to see what it's actually about, because they made it seem like it's a lot more friendlier than we give it credit for.
I am totally 100% for going in the NRA and infiltrate. And well, I don't want to say infiltrate, but definitely there needs to be more representation and understanding, because right now it does almost, the way that they paint it almost is like it's a secret KKK,
Basically.
not even a secret. Right. It's a in your face KKK, membership almost is the way that they try to paint it, which I don't think by any means it's on that level, even though there's a lot of questioning as to why they are not more vocal in situations that affect minorities versus the situations that affect, whites. But at the end of the day, I'm 100% with, yes, right. There needs to be more minorities inside of the NRA and understanding, being able to, help them paint a better picture of what it is. And it is them, just like you said with my video games. Hey, that's exactly the way that they do.
And that's the point. So it's like me, if I were to get into guns, and I'm a responsible gun owner, how is it that I can't own the guns that I want to own, use them in the manner that I'm supposed to use them on hunting trips or in the range or what have you? But this person who likes to acquire shoes, or the person who likes to acquire video games, their rights aren't imparted upon. So I can kind of see that side of the argument. But I do also believe that there should be stricter laws into how you attain the guns, which is, I think, they never hit on it in that conversation. Yeah. They were all about the extreme version of the banning guns, which I don't think is what we are calling for. It's for the ability of the 18-year-old or the mentally ill person to be able to attain this weapon or this semi-automatic weapon that is used as a weapon of mass destruction.
100%. And that's what I think what always makes me leery of the NRA and extreme gun enthusiast is that point is while I don't understand the need for an AR-15, I also will say that I don't think there's anything wrong with the proper person owning it, because I know, again, there are people who are out on farms, ripping them things off, enjoying time, doing nothing illegal. And, it's the sport of it. There are gun owners who shooting guns is a sport. I respect that and understand, but I think there does need to be a better process. Gun shows are like insane to me. Like, it blows my mind that you can go and buy pretty much an assault rifle just, that day at a show. Like, that's the type of stuff that there needs to be some type of regulation or standard or some type of, you can only do this with the proper background check or whatever. And those types of steps, I do believe, need to be taken. I think it's too easy for someone, again, that young child who doesn't understand what they're doing, or that mentally ill person. And, by all standards, somebody can pass all those checks and still be mentally ill or still be completely sane and still want to do some damage. But I just do believe there needs to be some type of increased standard and increased, measures on how they allow people to, take that journey.
Yeah, and I think I'm with pretty much all you guys. Like, it wasn't until basically Des was born that I even thought about it. Then Yasmin was next, and I seriously considered it. So me and the wife have gone back and forth because my vision for having them is deterrence, to hopefully never use it. So in that sense, my thought was I want to get the assault rifle. She was like, "Nah, just get like a Glock." I'm like, "Yeah, but I can get 2 assault rifles for the price of 1 Glock. So why not just get that?" And if somebody coming, like, if you have a Glock, everybody like, well, everybody got one of those. So you got your little gun, I got my little gun. We gonna start shooting. But if somebody come to the house with a Glock and I got an assault rifle, they're like, "Man, this dude crazy."
But even that, the fact that 2 assault rifles is the same price as 1 Glock, like, I just feel like that they're promoting this heavy artillery.
Yeah.
I don't even think, the funny thing though is it's not even about promotion as much as it is the advancement of the weaponry. So it's not even the fact that it's like, oh, they're doing it like it's not like McDonald's where a cheeseburger is 99 cents and a salad $6. You know what I mean? It's literally because it's so much cheaper to make that assault rifle. It's in how it's produced, manufactured, that they're actually passing on that benefit to them. It's harder to make that Glock than it is to make that assault rifle. There's a lot more chance of error with that Glock than there is with that assault rifle. So it's crazy, but those are the standards of the industry. And it's actually that the one thing about gun owners and about that, that lifestyle, they are very passionate and enthusiastic about it, but they also are their community where those savings are passed on, and they're like, you can get enveloped in hey, I got this little piece and I got the silencer thing. And just like Mike said, somebody comes to rob your house, and instead of them seeing you with that old Magnum PI,
right?
What are you doing? You come up with one of these bad boys, and you got the laser light, the green little laser light coming out, and you panning back and forth with the right strategy.
They turn around and leave.
Exactly. You just hoping you don't do nothing to him, and that he's going to be able to walk out.
Completely different mentality. And that's all it was. I mean, and it wasn't like, my thought was like, I never want to use it. Like, and I see that as part of it. Like, it went from fighting to knives to bats to guns. And now as it escalates, it gets to a point where it's like, who's the biggest bully? Who got the biggest gun? Which is similar to what Knucklehead is doing in the place where he living at. Like, he feel like this country got the biggest gun, so therefore I'm gonna be a bully and go do what I want to do wherever I want to do it. Same concept applies to just the human behavior. Like, if a guy gonna show up and he want to start acting crazy, then that's fine. But wait a minute, man, this dude got like what? And you got like, I mean, I seen stuff where like the shell casings are glass, like clear, where you can see the bullets that are in them. They got the stand. They got.
So if your desire is to deter people, strictly to deter them, would you have it loaded?
Absolutely. There's no point in having a
have to
gun
have
and
it
it's not loaded.
Well, I'm saying, but if the gun is strictly to
It
deter
doesn't
you,
matter. You have to have
would you
Yeah,
have it
because
loaded?
if it get to it, you got to at least fire off something to where they ain't like, man, I
Well,
ain't
you
necessarily
can't
firing
look.
at
At the end
you.
of the day, you absolutely can never point a weapon at anybody without the intent of
Right.
To
the weapon. Period. You should never while yes, the intimidation factor is there. You should absolutely never ever be using a weapon as a tool of intimidation in the sense of while it can alleviate a but if you're going to pull out your weapon, pull it out with the understanding that there's a possibility you will be taking someone's life, and that's what's so people take it out as intimidation and as let me wave it around like it's some tool and for that and no, it should not be used as that. While it can alleviate situations, it can hopefully stop situations and diffuse them, and hopefully you don't have to, but that's an issue. Like no, and yes, if you're going to take it out, you better take it out loaded and ready to have to use it, period.
And then just the concept of it. I mean, like I used to work with these guys that were part of SWAT. I mean, and then talking to them about like just how you use the weaponry. I mean, and the distance that it can fire and hit like inside of a freaking matchbox at like 2 miles. Like think like you just walk in somebody 2 miles away and let off something, and within a matter of seconds, like you get hit. Like that concept is just amazing on one end, but you got to respect it. So I agree.
Terrifying on the other, right?
Right,
That's the biggest thing with guns to me is just like you said, something like that where it's like, man, and there are who knows how many people around me with these weapons right now that what stops them from just saying, you know what, let's go, anarchy time, and yeah, what am I to do? But at the same time, I feel if that's the way that it's going to happen, what am I to do?
Remember, as kids, we were like, "Hey, I'm squashing your heads."
Real facts, 2 miles away.
Right, like just picking people off. Yeah,
it's great. That's remember the DC sniper?
Yep.
How heartbreaking and tragic when all of a sudden it was, what do you mean it's black dudes? What?
Right.
What?
So speaking about black dudes with guns, like, do you think that it would be such as big as an uproar if predominantly the gun owners were African Americans?
If that was the case, we would be running everything in this.
Running the show? You think we're running the show?
We would be running the show.
That's valid. That's valid. Because at the end of it, it's basically rights being taken away. So I think that's what the main thing is. Like everybody say, "Oh, you know, take away my rights." You know what I mean? So if that's something that we have been known to suffer through, so I wonder if like the same uproar would be the same. It would be the same, but like you said, it would be
the tables would the minority.
At the end of the day, it would be
because at this point it's the minority. Well, maybe not the minority, but the people without the guns are being the most voicious about it. But I don't know if they're in the minority or not. But if we were on that side of it, where we were the gun owners, I think that would support what I want to get into next week, the self-reliance theory. And I think that's something that we are getting back to, but at some point our people got away from. But us being avid gun owners, where we didn't have to rely on the government or state agencies to protect our rights, we're protecting our own rights. That just it starts a chain of advancement and ascension that the people will just have to jump on board with. But again, we'll jump into that next week, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on here for a little while.
Start messing with them Bill of Rights, though.
Nah, I mean, I think they're there for a reason. They just got to be updated, man.
Yeah, I believe
you open that door, you get in that house, you can't get out. We go back to being 3/5 again. I ain't on that. Then I'm gonna have to have my guns.
Well, that's the thing, you know. So that it ultimately changed. You still got the 13th Amendment that I think we need to be more strategic about how we get the basically modern day slavery pulled up out of that. And then the gun laws. I mean, I think the only sane and logical thing to do is to really just restrict who can get these weapons or who can be available for these weapons.
Yeah, but I think that's where the issue come in, that whole sane and logic concept. Like sane and logic and changing laws.
But then, I mean,
them two things is like,
because you could also have somebody buying somebody for it. You know what I mean? Like how you used to get liquor for your little cousin. You know what I mean?
So when we talk about it, like, how many?
I ain't never did it. I have some.
Not me. Not me.
Whoa.
When we talk about guns, that was one of the first things I always bring up when I talk about gun control with people, because I feel like there are more illegal guns on the street than it is legal guns. And if you restrict the people who are getting them legally, the mugs that's getting them off the street gonna get them however they know. So in actuality, you're gonna give them. They're still gonna get the illegal ones. They're gonna be the only ones to be able to acquire these guns. And we, as regular law-abiding citizens, are left with our hands in our pockets.
Well, I'll tell you my thought process on that. Right, I feel like more of the mass shootings, are done with purchase guns at, like, gun shows and like things of that nature. You don't
goes to my point
I
about
feel
the
like
accident.
a lot more of the, hey, I'm buying guns off the street are like gang wars and things of that nature, where they don't get the same type of news publicity, but it's more the internal battles of, with some, two drug cartels going at each other or something along that nature. Whereas when you're talking about the real issues that create the uproar, as far as school shootings, mass shootings at the Las Vegas and things of that nature, where if there is the opportunity to have restrictions on, and I don't want to say restrictions, I want to more so say a stronger process,
right,
to be able to get to get the weapons, and that it is something where you can just go off the internet, or you can, do something easily to obtain such a powerful weapon at any age, that those measures do need to be taken.
Exactly. I'm with you 100%. J Dace, before we get up out of here, I'm going to come to you with your CryptoBiddy as well, Fresh. You had a question for us early on in the podcast. I want you to get that out.
The J Dace Dip. We're taking them to the J Dace Dip.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I was just asking if y'all ever heard of this concept called grounding. And what it is that you basically, it's literally what it says. Like, you walk outside and you put your feet on the ground, bare feet though, because it's basically getting back to nature. Like, the earth is we are conductive, right? And the earth is filled with like free electrons. So when you are like walking on grass or dirt or soil, you are automatically, if you will, diffusing, right? We swim in electromagnetic waves. Like right now, we're being soaked up in it, right? Like just looking at computers and things like that. And then what it does is, when you go outside and put your bare feet on the ground, you flush that out into the earth, so you don't carry that with you. And it's a way that, and I think that it really reduces inflammation, which is like a huge cause in stress and just different diseases like lung cancer, and I think even I looked it up, like even talking about hernias, you know what I mean? Like just different things, just literally, I just looked it up. But even just literally walking on your on bare feet to the ground, it's the same concept of a ground wire. Like when lightning strikes the house, the reason why we don't blow up, or the reason why the microwave don't explode, is because it's grounded it has a ground wire. So that's what we would be doing when we go outside and walk on the earth. We are being grounded, so that way we can take the pressures of the electromagnetic fields that's constantly around us and shoot it from our bodies to the earth. And we also receive negative ions or negative electrons to battle what's going on inside of us.
But you gotta have, at some point in time, you gotta be focused on that in order for that to work. Like just regular walking out in the grass and all that.
No, you just walking, just literally. As soon as you could, like, it's crazy. Like when you go to the beach, it's just calming, right? You just kind of feel relaxed. And we think that it's the scene, or we think it's just being there, but it's literally our feet are in the sand. Like we don't have socks on.
But even if you're not conscious of it, like to understand that that's what's happening, that still has the same effect.
I don't think it may have a greater effect if you're consciously trying to do it. In anything, if we're consciously trying to do something, it has a greater effect, of course. But just naturally, because that's how our bodies and the earth, we're so in sync with nature. We don't realize it. It's like just touching the ground. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you don't have to consciously touch a live wire and get shocked. Like you just do it because you're conductive. So when we touch the earth, it's just a natural reaction, and it just creates a homeostasis, like balance between us and the earth. So I just been looking more into it, and I just like when I
That's the
walk my
reason.
dog, like I just take my shoes off, bro. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
reasons why Africans don't wear shoes.
I was gonna say,
I think even Native Americans, they don't
Native
believe in
Americans
wearing
too.
shoes. They just say
I
too.
should say the original peoples.
Original.
I think
South America.
that's something worth looking into, Jay. I'm glad you mentioned that because
But,
I'm thinking about, some of the healthier lifestyles lived by those who live in like the Caribbean or Africa
Mhm.
that are connected to a body of water or, walk around with no shoes on naturally. They tend to see longer, healthier lives. And I'm looking at a lot of the effects and stuff in it. I'm really interested to see the research on it if there is any.
There's a lot of
there's
research I've
research
definitely
on it,
heard
man.
about that many times. I think my feet are too sensitive, man.
Man,
I mean, you don't
Florida,
have to,
bro.
yeah.
You can go to the beach.
I'm too colonized. I'm a colonizer.
Yeah, when I was in Haiti, I mean, the kids in Haiti, they just
Yeah.
rip and run. They don't care.
They don't
play,
care. Rocks
They
and all.
they play soccer on like,
Yes.
They don't care. I'm walking like,
man.
They laughing at me.
American.
Exactly.
Colonizer.
Footed. Look at it.
Man. But whenever you can, just get back into it with nature. Get your feet on the ground, bare feet on the ground, and get that stuff out your body and receive the good stuff.
I'm getting that in today, along with a run that I've been long overdue with, for over these past
You
couple.
should run barefoot though.
Yeah, not happening. CryptoBiddy.
Hardcore, boy.
My main man in crypto. What we got this week, sir?
We got nothing but excitement. Where things are back looking on the up, baby. We saw it finally pushed past $8,000. That is Bitcoin, the Mac Daddy, the granddaddy of all cryptocurrency, making a strong push. And as Bitcoin increases, so do all of its altcoin babies. And so we've seen a lot of green lights, a lot of green candlesticks this past week in crypto. So it's been very exciting. Hopefully seeing the resurgence of the push back upwards as a lot of these altcoins and companies that have been created are starting to actually have their products and services come into their beta and alpha stages. There's a lot of hoopla in the area right now because again, seeing all of these different companies actually have the opportunity to show some of the different services that they promised actually being provided now. Things like Ladium has produced their first beta project, allowing for the marketing materials to be instantly pushed to people in different arenas. So being able to push messages, for instance, if you're a restaurant, anybody who comes within a 2-mile radius of your restaurant within dining hours gets a message saying that, hey, get 10% off if you come into Ian's Pizzeria today. And so those types of occurrences and the ability to do those things as they grow, people actually see them have value. A lot of the different loan products that are out there as well. You start seeing these things develop in the ability to communicate and not just communicate, more so have transactions occur across, country and border lines with ease and little interference outside of the parties who are creating the transaction. That is where the real value of cryptocurrency is coming, and that's the true impact that it's having. So again, as we are seeing this growth, we've seen the push past 8K, which we have not seen for well over, I would like to say, 30 to 60 days. So it's been definitely, we did not see it last month. And it might have been in February the last time that we saw an $8,000 Bitcoin price. So definitely excited as we're seeing that growth come in, praying that it's not the sharks coming back in and pushing us into a crazy space of them, really just weeding out some more hands. But again, this is the space we play in. It's why I love crypto. It's exciting. As I always tell you, do your own research. If you're not in the game, you need to get some skin in it. Check out what's going on. Go to cryptowithfresh.com. Check out any of my Facebook groups. So just stay tuned here on the 13th floor because we talk about it all the time. Get it popping, get it cracking. I am Crypto Freeze.
Easy. Any last comments, man, before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm
sorry.
I need to end it. I need to end it like the dip. I mean, my dip. I need to end it like that. I'm gonna come up with one though.
Your head like a dab or something. Like a,
You better get with Fresh, man, because he be
Yep, now he got
on,
that.
man. You know what I'm saying? Like just straight fire like that, man. He
That's what I'm
got it.
saying.
So
He
you
just
better
come
get with
with
him
it, man.
offline. He'll get you right. Ladies and gentlemen, remember you can get this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. You can catch the video on YouTube, the snippets on Facebook. Follow us on social media at 13th Floor, please. Again, that's at 13th Floor, please.
Get the notifications. Go hit the bell on YouTube. We're on Vimeo too. Y'all can find us on Vimeo. We got a collection over there. So if you do Vimeo, you more of a professional video type person, check out Vimeo, man. I know our views are down over there.
Man,
That's the
my allergies are killing me.
of where we get it from. So yeah, man, check us out. Ring our bell.
Check us out, man. Make sure you get the blooper reel in your life, man. We got 3 of them out now. We just dropped number 3. I'm gonna repost and share number 2 and number 1.
Yes.
Great comedy, man. You get to see what we get into on and off air. Mike gives you a lot of it, on air, but we like to have fun, man. But that's it, fellas. We up out of here. Thank you all for listening with us here on the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best,
but the views
are amazing.
The 13th floor.
Where you at, man?
The 13th floor.